Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227. Or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
We'd like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We're here each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Knon 89.3 FM. The voice of the people. Got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things going on in our community. In about 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes, we'll have Miss Tracy Odom on. She'll be talking about, I see here on her card, is marriage12step.com and other things about businesses in the community. But before we get there, I have some announcement. We have with here a good friend of mine, Dr. E.L. Scott. And the Vineyard Worship Center welcomes you to our Officers Installation Sunday, May 4th, 3:30 p.m. The location of Vineyard Church is at 1035 West Daniel at Polk. And the guest speaker that day will be Pastor Andrew Jackson of the West Irving Church of God in Christ. So for more information, give them a call at 214-631-4599. 214-631-4599. It's Dr. E.L. Scott and Sister Scott. I'd like to say good morning to them. That's this coming Sunday. That's this coming Sunday, May 4th, 3:30 p.m. at the Vineyard Worship Center there at Daniel and Polk. Y'all go out and be a part of those great services. And Andrew Jackson's a good friend of mine. I like to say good morning to him, to Elder Jackson. Also, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. That's Psalms 34:3. The Inspiration Calvary Gospel Singers present Gospel Extravaganza, Saturday, June 21st at 5 p.m. at the Onward, the Onward United Methodist Church. That's located at 1451 John West Road here in the city of Dallas. Minister Denise Jacobs is the pastor. Mistress of Ceremonies, Sister Lisa Anderson. Our guest performing artists will be Bon Air Baptist Church Mill Chorus, True Vision Gospel Choir of Dallas, also Voices of Salvation of Dallas, George Gospel Singers Dallas, Inspiration Gospel Singers of Dallas. They have door prizes. Door prizes are $50, first place, $25, second place. Third place, $15, need not to be present to win. Free admission, oh, that's great. For additional information, call Sister Dorothy Johnson at 214-375-0607. That's 214-375-0607. Sister Dorothy Johnson at the great Gospel Extravaganza at the Onward United Methodist Church. That's 1451 John West Road, right here in the city of Dallas. Minister Denise Jacob is the pastor. All right. Those are wonderful things there. If we have any more, we'll get them on the air to you. A lot of things going on. We thank y'all for showing for the rally on last Saturday. Thank you. Love. Special thank you to our station manager, Dave Chaos. He was there. He and his daughter, his little pretty daughter, they were there. Oh, it was just a wonderful occasion. Also, we got a lot of other things going on that we don't want to get swayed too far about. The NBA. Sometimes it just takes one person to bring out a lot of problems in any public entity, any business. Takes one person. But Mr. Donald Sterling, this fella, this guy decides he wants to let everybody know what he did years ago. Elgin Baylor told everybody about this years ago that this man was a hardcore, hard-shell racist. Elgin Baylor said that. He told them. They ignored Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor is one of the greatest players of all time. But the rest of the players and the owners and seemingly the fans and everybody else ignored Elgin Baylor. Now it's come out. It's sad. Everybody's talking about it. It's sad that things like this go on in America, where people of all ethnic groups, all races, all colors, genders, and everything else have fought and have given so much to make this country great. And you still have idiots like this, and there are plenty of them out there that go around and think and speak like this. It's a sad situation when we see that we cannot and will not. There's a certain group, certain people out there will not allow this country to be what it needs to be. Anytime you get to a situation whereas you have to defend yourself as a human being, to have human dignity, it's a sad situation. I tell you what, and we're in the midst of our spring pledge drive. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We need your tax-deductible pledge. We need your pledge coming in. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number for your tax-deductible pledge. All right, you can call us either way. You can call us if you'd like to speak, but you can also call us. We need your pledge drive. We need your pledge. We need that money coming in. It's important, it's imperative to keep us on the air, keep us strong, keep us going, keep us fighting for you. 972-647-1893 is that number to call. Give us a call. 972-647-1893 is that all-important number this morning. Yes, light those lines up. Light them up. Light them up. 972-647-1893. Just be patient. Just be patient. If is taking the pledge down. So just be patient. Just be patient. Be patient. Be patient. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call with your tax-deductible pledge. All righty. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. I know the phone lines are ringing. Just let it ring, let it ring, let it ring. We need some more lines to light up. All right, 972-647-1893. And we're going to do some talk this morning. Oh, boy. If it goes off, it'll ring only so many times, then it'll go off. But give her an opportunity to get you. Just call right back. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. That's the number to call. That's the magic number. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things going on this morning. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. 972. Yes, 647-1893 is that number to call. Y'all got it lighted. We'll get to you as soon as we can. 972-647-1893. All right, there we go. 972-647-1893. All righty. Yeah. All righty. Talking about Donald Sterling. Well, we'll be taking your call in just a moment. Yes. 972-647-1890. 972-647-1893. We get this thing straightened out in just a second. We get it straightened out in just a second. We got you calling. Please call back. All those callers that called in, please call back. 972-647-1893. All those callers that could please call back. Yes. And we're going to talk about Donald Sterling some, and there are a lot of other things going on in our community. We're still dealing with the community and what they're trying to do. All right. Okay, we'd like to thank this Gooch. Is this Mr. and Mrs. Gooch?
Gooch. I'm going to get her a good gift.
Thank you. Are you going to get her a good gift?
Can I give her that?
Oh, yeah, whatever she wants. You can, for a place this large, yes, you can give her whatever she wants. Yeah, all righty, that's right. That's nice. That's wonderful. We thank you. Thank her. Thank you, Miss Gooch. All righty, for that nice pledge. All righty, we thank you. 972-647-1893. If you like to talk, come on, 972. You don't have to be bashful this morning. We know how to do pledges and still carry the show on and get our pledges in. We know how to do it. So 972-647-1893. What do you think about the situation? You four of them are taking the Los Angeles Clippers. They used to be the San Diego Clippers, the worst team in the history of all sports. This man bought this team for $12 million. Now he's going to clean up at the bank because he's going to make probably $600-800 million off the deal. They can force him to sell because the NBA within itself is a corporation. Yes, his team is a corporation, but if that team begin to violate or cause harm to the other teams can cut him loose because he has what is known as a franchise. And the franchise has to be sold to him, and there are certain restrictions that they can do, not supposed to do, and they can cause them to have a very, very, very hardship on the NBA. So yes, they can call them. They can call them. But we thank y'all. Thank y'all for calling in your pledges. But we need you to call back. Call back. We have just one pledge taker this morning. Just one. 972-647-1893. Now we got clear lines. All of y'all call back that called in. All of you call back. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. I need you to call back. Don't call in at one time and be shy. We need those pledges coming in, and if you'd like to speak, call in 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. All right, we need those numbers called. I'll keep calling them out. I'm calling around repetitiously. All righty. Everything because I want you to call at 972-647-1893. She's supposed to call me.
I think she already called.
She already called?
And she couldn't get her over. Oh, no.
She couldn't. Yeah, no, try. Catch call on the line now. See if we can get her. I know this show is not going like it normally goes this morning. Okay. Is that her?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Call us back. Miss Oden, call us back. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We are up against a short break. And, all right.
Yeah.
Keep going? Okay. You want me to go home to the break? All right. 972-647-1893. People, we got, Josh, you know I sure don't normally run like this, but we have gotten a lot. We got a lot of things on the table this morning. You're talking about got a lot of things on the table, jillions. Everything's here before me. All these perks and different things like this. Everything that you get, we're getting good pledges in, but we need more. We need more. Our pledge amount went up, almost, what it was, 7 times as much as it used to be. It's 7 times as much as it used to be. So we need your tax-deductible pledge, please. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We're here for you all the time. We're here for you. And we take your calls. We work in the community. We do everything that we possibly can. So 972-647-1893. I like to think of just a line of people that are really, that helps us all the time. Thank God for people. Oh, my God. Mr. Ike Steen, we can go on down through the line and just really talk about, we got good people. We got good people that support us. We got a lot of great people. I tell you want to take a break now? All righty. We're going to take a break, but you call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right. We're back on air. Maybe we can get things a little... Oh, God, that's the toughest 20 minutes I've ever had on radio in my life. I want to talk. We got pledges. We got things, all these announcements, everything before everything just hit at one time. I am sorry. I apologize to my audience. I apologize. But we got pledges on the line now. And well, let's take Tracy Odom, and then you can take the pledges at 972-647-1893. Ms. Odom, are you there?
I am here.
Yes. How are you this morning?
I'm very good. Thank you for letting me join your show.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. All right. Could you tell us who you are and what are you doing?
Well, my name is Tracy Oden. I am founder of 2 very important initiatives that's going to be impacting African Americans pretty extensively throughout the nation for the next several years, probably about the next 10 years. We are launching a Black economic empowerment movement. This movement is going to be the most important movement really since the civil rights generation. It is an economic rights movement, more moving African Americans from civil rights to human rights. And obviously we know that our ancestors, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, many wanted to see economics be our final mark. And that's what we're doing. Now, the program is really scoped to infuse venture and angel capital into African Americans on a large-scale basis nationally. And the program and the monies will be available to just about anyone meeting certain investment criteria. Historically, African Americans have not had access to this type of capital. And venture and angel capital is not philanthropy. It is not loans like SBA loans and that kind of thing. This is actually investments going into African Americans. So they don't need credit. They don't need, collateral. They just have to have great business ideas, and we can help them launch small, medium, and large companies. Now,
in other words, you're saying the key thing we need is creativity.
Creativity, you got it, because and it has to be not only creative, but niche-based. But because we are launching it on a massive scale, and we're doing this in response to the eventual demise of affirmative action, we believe affirmative action is going away. And affirmative action impacts African Americans on such a large scale. So when we talk about racism, the climate today says that we live in a post-racial society, which we know is not true. Mm-hmm. And many of the court cases right now that's at the Supreme Court or in the pipeline into the Supreme Court is with the goal of taking away affirmative action. And they're primarily going after education right now, setting a precedent so that they can knock down affirmative action in the areas of employment, commerce, and housing. These are other areas that in affirmative action impact. They're already attacking the Voting Rights Act, which is also currently under attack there at the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, they've made rulings on 2 education cases and 1 in the Voting Rights Act. So for everything that the civil rights generation did is literally coming down. And a lot of African-American people are not even aware of, A, what affirmative action is, and I'm talking 35 and under, and even older people, you'd be surprised, do not even know what affirmative action is, how it impacts 40 million African-American people of African descent right here in this nation. Our people fought valiantly for these protections, but quite frankly, they're not even. We can't even use them.
Did we ever really get what we should have gotten out of affirmative action? Because those who really benefited from affirmative action were really white females.
That is correct.
They benefited the most.
That is correct. As a matter of fact, African Americans have never really benefited from it. It's a misnomer. It's just not real. It's an illusion, quite frankly. Because on the commerce track, like I said, there's 4 key areas. Our mission is really focused on 2, but we by indirectly housing and education will also be impacted. So we're really focused on commerce and on employment. So for your listening public who do not understand affirmative action, let me just divert just a moment in these areas because it'll matter in terms of what we're doing. So I like to use the example in employment. When you see the job opportunities, if you look at your job application and you go looking to hire the company, you'll see the verbiage: "We are an equal opportunity employer." That's affirmative action. So if that is knocked down, then what happens is there is no law that makes the companies hire African Americans or any ethnicity at that point, and that will impact white women. But white women are usually married to white men, and there are 233 million Caucasians and just 40 million black people. So the disparity is so very great. But because Caucasian women are married to white men, there's no impact to her. She's economically okay. And quite frankly, we have evolved past where we were 50 years ago. But for African Americans, this can throw us back to pre-segregation. And the worst case scenario is if they don't hire you by their heart, and there we can show that statistically is not the case, even right now. And if they don't hire you by their heart, then what's going to make them? Because there is no law that says they have to. So the fact is, before integration in the 1960s, there are certain laws that came about. And you kind of have to go out to our website because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I really want to talk to our forum that we're going to be hosting in Fort Worth that will kick off locally a forum to educate the public, and I really like many of your listeners to come out to that forum because it's an opportunity for them to ask questions live in public, for us to talk about the programs, the initiatives, so they can ask valuable questions. We have a panel of guests that would be out there. We have 2 economists coming in from Black Wall Street, members of blackwallstreet.org, and we have placed a request into the Fort Worth Black Chamber of Commerce. So we anticipate having a great guest forum, and I will be hosting. I'm a former journalist, but we are looking to actually host a live forum where we can educate the public, even though this is a national program, about what it will mean to the Fort Worth community. And we'll do the same thing in Dallas, probably about a month later. These events are being scheduled as we are speaking, and we're kind of coordinating certain things. But the one in Fort Worth will take place on June 21st of this year, June 21st. That's a very important date. But
where will it be held?
It's going to be held at the Dock Bookshop in Fort Worth. At the Dock Bookshop, it's an African American bookstore, and it's a historic bookstore. And I think your listeners would love to come out. There is a minimum $10 donation to help with the Marriage 12-Step program, as well as the Black Economic Empowerment Movement. But we do offer free hors d'oeuvres to those people that will be coming in groups, or if you donate anything above $10. So, you can pay online. You can go to marriage, MARRIAGE, 12step.com. But I really want to move away from that right now and go back to what I was saying about the affirmative action, because that model where we're talking about where we are an equal opportunity employer, and if it goes away, then what happens is we're back pre-segregation, because even before the integration laws, during the separate but equal time, we did not have equal accommodations, but we did have separate accommodations. We had our own businesses. That's key. We had many businesses that supported African Americans. That's how African Americans ate. That's where they went to work and earned income. We had many middle class communities. We attended our historically black universities. Today, all of that is pretty much naught. We do not see companies. We don't even have small businesses in our neighborhood. So if that occurred, that
Why do you think that's so? Why do you think that's so? That we don't even have, here in 2014, we don't have the businesses we had in 1964. Why do you think that's so, 50 years ago? You'd
have to go out to our website to read more about this, but there are codes or laws that existed ever since we came on shore. So obviously we're human, but we were stripped of our human rights as Africans. And when we came on shore, we were seen as chattel. So there were laws that existed in the land, such as laws like black code, slave code, and they call them codes. And these are next generation codes, okay? And each one of these codes basically came into being to help to not really help African Americans, but to keep African Americans, under the, it was a very oppressive system designed to keep African Americans oppressed.
Right.
So you had codes that basically said you were chattel, and these were laws that were literally on the books. Then you had codes that talked to whether or not, like you may win a little civil rights victory, and then they had the Civil War, and then they had other codes come in, black codes that said, we're going to, you're half of this or half of that, and you now have to share a crop and that kind of thing. But again, all designed to keep you oppressed and keep the system in place. Then you had your next generation codes of Jim Crow codes that last for about 100 years, which kept you separate but equal. And after Jim Crow came affirmative action codes. And so on the surface, it looks like it's helping you, but really it's binding you. It's keeping you bound to a very oppressive system. And so even though we have these quote-unquote protections, and while the law does say that they must hire you, And they must. They must right now show a certain quota. And they don't like to use the word quota in affirmative action, but that's pretty much what it is. They have to use a quota of X amount of black people or X amount of Hispanics or X amount of women and that kind of thing that work for a company. But the reality is African Americans are always the last hired, first fired. We are the only group of people that cannot wear our hair a certain way. We're singled out if we do actually file a discrimination claim. As a matter of fact, we are fired for doing so and stigmatized. Quite frankly, everybody can use the affirmative action laws except for African Americans. It is known, it's a known fact that if African Americans if they were to process every single discrimination claim that African Americans have right now at the EEOC, it will literally take down the U.S. government. The government could not even process them. So instead of processing them, they hurt African Americans, and you lose your job. But others, a matter of fact, the little girl from the University of Texas here in Austin, the young lady that went up on affirmative action, she used affirmative action law to go to the Supreme Court, okay, for which we can't even use the law. She used it on reverse discrimination. Now, she's using the very law.
You're talking about the white girl? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The very law she wants to overturn. She uses that law on reverse discrimination, says she was unfairly targeted because they let some African Americans in, and she was not allowed in because she's white. Now, they even offered to give her an alternative timeline. They didn't say she couldn't join the school. They just said next semester she'd have to wait one semester out. Now, if she was so intelligent, 9 times out of 10, if this was not a motive of hers, if she's so intelligent, then why couldn't she get in on the 80% that was for white people, or the 90% set aside for them and the 10% set aside for minorities? But instead, she got angry and wanted in on the 10%, okay? And then used reverse discrimination, which was strategic, hired an attorney, got her all the way to the Supreme Court to fight the 10% that's set aside for every other ethnicity. And this is what's going on regularly. And then they use the argument that African Americans, and they usually single out not Hispanic, not a gay and lesbian or anything of that nature. They single out African Americans and Hispanics. And they use the idea that African Americans and Hispanics are somehow less intelligent. We do worse on test scores. And so, therefore, we do not belong at these schools. All
right. I tell you what, we're up against a short break, and we are in the midst of our Spring Pledge Drive. Give me a call. Make your tax-deductible pledge. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right. We're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. All right. We're in the midst of our pledge drive, our spring pledge drive. You know what? Oscar McCraney, the Dewberries, they always on it. They were at the rally on last week, and I had an opportunity of meeting them. Very, very nice people. Very, very nice looking wife, Mr. Dewberry. She's a beautiful woman. Man. Thank y'all for your tax-deductible pledge. Thank you for your tax-deductible pledge. I thank God for y'all. We got people out there that really, really, really care for their community and understand what it's going to take for not only for us to thrive, but hey, we are fighting for survival right now. Way things are changing. Our guest this morning, she's so correct on how they're sitting us back. They're not trying. They're doing it. And we're sitting there not taking advantage of the things that we could do to sustain and move forward. We think we're moving forward, but many are losing their jobs. They're losing a lot of status, losing their wealth. Basically, our biggest wealth is through our homes, and people are losing homes and have lost them and trying to get back on their feet. But we got a lot of things going on. See, some of you for a $70 pledge would like to get a pair of tickets to be with Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin brunch. It includes a buffet, live gospel show. He's going to put on a show at the House of Blues at 2200 North Lamar here in the city of Dallas. That'll be May 25th. If you'd like to go and see Kirk Franklin, you and your guest, 972-647-1893. This is May 25th now. May 25th. The House of Blues is at 2200 North Lamar. I have some tickets for this. I got some tickets for Kirk Franklin. He's not only going to sit down and eat with you and talk to you, he is going to perform. He is going to perform. So, Kirk Franklin, you can't beat that deal. The number one gospel artist in the world, Kirk Franklin. They're right here in Dallas. And he's big as they come in gospel music. He's big. Now, I've got some tickets. Y'all hurry up and get these tickets. Thank you. Hurry up and get these tickets. Okay, all my lines are for it. Let me ask you, please be patient with Niv. She's doing this by herself. We should have brought a team in here to do my show. And be patient. She's going to get to you. Please, if it stopped ringing, just call back, because they only ring so many times. And, give her a chance and just call back and make sure. We got these Kirk Franklin tickets. I got, let me see how many pairs I've got. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got, 2 pairs left. I got 2 pairs left. I've given out some. So call right back and get that. Just $70. Get you to sit down and eat with Kirk Franklin, and he laugh and talk with you. He's a wonderful person to be around. A lot of fun. Then he's going to perform. Then he's going to give you some good gospel music. All right, 972-647-1893 is that number to call. 972-647-1893. Did we get any on Kirk Franklin there? Yeah. All right, okay, all right. Come on, we got him here. We got these tickets, 972-647-1893. All right, let's go back to Miss Oden on line 4. All righty. 972-647-1893 is the number to call if you'd like to speak with Miss Oden. Miss Oden, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. You mentioned something about finances, monies that African Americans can get.
Yes.
All right. And who did you say will be giving this money out?
Okay. These are high net worth investors, African American investors. They are people that would, most of this money, we believe, will be coming in from the entertainment sector. We have, for the first time in millenniums, African Americans are actually very wealthy. Historically, this is another reason why we were not able to support ourselves and actually needed government-sanctioned programs. For the first time, we have very high net worth individuals. And I use the example because at this point, this is about a 2-year out program, because before we can infuse capital into these African American people, we have to take care of the slave mentality that many African Americans hold against each other, the fact that we don't support businesses, the fact that many African Americans do not know how to pitch, have elevator speeches, do the things that's necessary to receive venture capital. Many don't even know what it is. So we have a 2-pronged mission for that. The venture capital and angel capital will be infused by people most likely coming in from the entertainment industry, from sports, things like that, from even the Christian community, pastors and things of that nature, and other high net worth individuals from corporate America.
Do any of these people want to be revealed, who they are?
Many, the angel capitalists, some do, many do not. And this is the reason why we're having, again, a precursor program. So the precursor program is called marriage12step.com or .org, whichever way you want to get into the site. And that's where you will learn about what the precursor program is. I'm the founder of both. The precursor program is a marriage matchmaking program. It's a program about cultural self-esteem, and then it's a business accelerator. Now, a business accelerator, the goal of that is it's kind of like a clearinghouse for those people that understand venture and angel capital. This is usually monies that are $1 million or more that you infuse into a single management team that may have a great innovative idea for a product or a service. So like many of the many of the software companies, Salesforce.com, a number of different companies were venture financed, okay? And so there are many African Americans with inventions, ideas, concepts, proofs of concepts. There are many inventors that there are so many African American people that work for these companies that cannot get this capital, but there aren't very many companies out there that hold portfolios that deal with African Americans. And so we are typically not the people that they will give this money to, not just because of racism, though that's about 80% of the problem. 20% is the fact that we don't support one another or even understand the concept on a massive scale.
Do you not believe that African Americans with a that would come in and open up a good, reputable business? In other words, you don't trust the communities they would go out or even go out of their way to do business with our own people?
I do trust it, but the younger generation, I don't, because you will have to understand, and this is why we tell the public to go out to read, because the younger generation, 35 and under, you will be surprised, they are not even dating or courting one another, okay? And we use the word, I'm a devout Christian. This is a program that has certain guidelines to join, and being a Christian is one of them. As a devout Christian, God has a way that he means by being equally yoked. And so in order to have economic viability in our community to support the demise of affirmative action, we have to have a black economic base. And this black economic base requires that you like each other and that you're willing to marry one another. One of the ways that you keep your money in your cultural community is through marriage. And it's also the very single most area where you lose your economy is through divorce. So, number one, you have to be married in a way that's pleasing to Christ, equally yoked. But number two, you have to like each other. And the fact is that African Americans are, A, not marrying one another, B, not even courting one another, C, hate each other. Many of the young kids, you'll be surprised if you go out to YouTube and listen to this argument. They are actually having a war against each other. Black men and black women are speaking so negatively against one another. And the interracial rates are going up. Now, this program is not about interracial. We could care less about it, quite frankly. It's about the economic base. But it's very imperative that we understand the scope of what we're attempting to do, which is to build a black economic base, because this is the stinking thinking. The fact that you are not dating one another, but you're dating outside your race 3 times. They're leaving at record speed. They're willing to date and marry other cultures, but they won't date and marry each other. And then the things that they are saying out in public about each other will make you sick. It will make you literally sick. And so this is the problem. And so the Lord has placed it upon my heart to deal with that issue first. And if we were to just marry, the Lord put it upon my heart that just having an equally yoked marriage, you can take care of many of your poverty issues right now. You don't even have to get venture capital, though He's giving you that. Okay?
But now, answer me this, Ms. Oden. Why is it so many children are being born with these couples? You say they don't even like each other, but
no,
they have children together and would move on. Why? The typical African-American woman, many of them, I can't say typical, but many of them, you see youngsters in their 20s or teens or whatever, they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. But you say they're not, they don't care about each other? Where are all these children coming from?
It all comes from slavery, and a lot of it is, again, it's so oppressive. We have been under such level of oppression that African Americans can't even articulate why, but I can tell you why. Again, it all stems from slavery. We have never, while we've made great strides as people, freeing ourselves of bondage through, again, the civil rights era and so on. So, and quite frankly, we weren't even free until after civil rights, because you can't consider yourself a free person when you're being bitten by dogs and hit in the head. So it wasn't until after that we became free. And I was born in 1966, so while I am 47 years old, I can I am that cusp baby. I am between the civil rights generation. I opened my eyes in the black empowerment movement, but I also saw the black exploitation, the crack generation, and I'm of that generation that really did drop the ball. We did not pass the baton to the next generation culturally. So this generation is Generation X, and X means I don't know, quite frankly. And the Generation X, it went to the Y generation, which says why? Why me? What's happening? Okay? So the fact is that they don't know. They know nothing about their culture, and they were raised latchkeyism, and the television raised them. And so they didn't really have any real viable people to teach them their culture, and they hate being black. Matter of fact, many of our generation was just learning your generation, which actually started the civil rights movement, and it ended there. The Black is Beautiful movement started, and then that was diffused. And so many just don't know who they are culturally. Yeah. They really don't.
I think our generation failed y'all. Your generation, definitely. So you were born in 66?
Yes.
Yeah, we failed y'all because we really didn't put enough into y'all. We stopped doing things that made us great. You can't, you're not old enough to remember the time when we had the black community. And when I say community, a real community where people shared together, worked together, did business with one another, built our own homes in our community by African-American carpenters, and everything was basically good for our community. We had our own schools. We had our classics and sports. We had everything going on, and all of that faded around 68. 69. Yes, that all faded before you became you were old enough to realize what was going on around you, and we pretended that we had always been free. After we got the 64 Civil Rights Act, the 65 Voting Rights Act, the 68 open housing, we pretended like that, and we passed that thought process on to your generation, and that your generation definitely did not teach that next generation, and you see the condition that we are in right now.
Right.
You know,
and to answer your question about why the babies are making babies is because we were bred that way in slavery. African American men were bred.
But see, the thing about it, I remember a time this was not going on in the black community, and this definitely was post-slavery. Mm-hmm. Oh no! You had some of. You've always had children born out of wedlock in our community, but you also had most women post early 60s. Almost every black woman got married at one time in life. we have such a large number of black women now that's not going to ever marry. They will never be married. We have a situation where children don't know who their fathers are. We see all of this was since slavery that our illegitimacy rate was lower than whites. This was something that came along in that me generation that we assimilated and copied and wanted to be like others. I tell you, I'm up against a short break, and I'm in the midst of my pledge drive. I'll hold you for a few minutes in the next hour, but I have got to raise some money. I got to raise some money. Neil, let's take a break, and we're going to have to come back and push our pledge drive, and because we definitely got to raise some money. I'll be right back. All right, you're back on Church Information. We're back for hour number 2. All righty. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. If you have questions or comments for Miss Oden this morning, you all give her a call. 972-647-1893. She's talking about economic progress, and she's putting the whole family together and put it back intact, because it is so true. Wealth is usually built through families. Wealth is usually built through families. And I've lived long enough to have experienced that era. We gave it away. We gave it away. We let it get away. But now, I need to raise some money. Come on, y'all, please. 972-647-1893. I need y'all to call me. We got concert folding chairs. We have big jumbo windproof umbrellas. We have coffee mugs, Knon coffee mug, and the world's best coffee, Knon coffee. Long sleeves T-shirts for ladies, and we have the Blue Bonnet T-shirts, and we have the ladies' Blue Bonnet T-shirts, and we have an iPad reader carrying case. Just some everything, barbecue aprons, you name it. I guess you got everything you almost can think of on this list, but we need you to call us, 972-647-1893. I need to raise some money. I have the best audience in the world. I always like to thank Mr. Oscar McCraney, Mr. and Mrs. Dewberry. Oh, they're just wonderful. And Miss Gooch, oh, my God, she made a tremendous pledge to us. We thank you for that. We thank you for that money. And, this is just phenomenal. She put that on her credit card. It's just so much going on. Now, I will admit, I have never been to one, but I gave you some information that was in error. It was my error. I don't know, because they usually have these on the Sundays that I'm at church. And this Kirk Franklin Mother's Day Gospel Brunch, this is put on by Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, he did. There's a big choir.
Okay. A choir and everything there. He puts this together. But Kurt himself is not present, so I don't want to mislead you. I didn't want to mislead you. I thought he would be there. But Kurt himself, he has a choir there and everything. They say it's a fantastic thing. I'm there. I'm at church usually on Mother's Day. Well, I'm at church every Sunday. But I didn't. I really didn't. Y'all forgive me. I did not mean to mislead you. I just did not know it. I did not know it. So 972-647-1893. I'd like to thank Mr. James Smith for his particular tax deductible pledge. Now, people, these pledges are tax deductible. You can write them off. It's a win-win situation for us. It's a win-win situation for you. You still get great programming, and at the same time, you make a pledge that you can write off and don't have to give to Uncle Sam. You can let Knon, somebody that will get out in the streets, get everywhere, will fight for you, will speak up for you. So you call us at 972-647-1893. I'm sorry, 972-647-1893. 1893. We need those lines lighted up. We need those lines lighted up. We need them. Yes, you get a Knon coffee mug. Yeah, the greatest coffee in the world. We're still selling coffee, aren't we? Yeah, because you're talking about a nice, smooth, mild coffee. It is a great cup of coffee. I think Knon's coffee is first, and maybe Seattle's best is second. And you can go on down the line with all the rest of them. Who is it? Dunkin' Donuts serves a good coffee. Yeah, McDonald's serves a pretty good cup of coffee. But Knon is better than theirs. So that tells you something. These are all good coffees for all you coffee drinkers. So call in. Give us a pledge. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Come on. 972-647-1893. We're going to go back for our last segment with Miss Oden. 972-647-1893. All right, let's bring Miss Oden on. What is she, line 4? All righty. Miss Oden, are you there?
I am.
All righty. Sorry that you got us on pledge drive, but we have to raise
That's
money.
okay. Gotta make the money.
Yes.
It's a great show.
We have a lot of things that had hurt us. I think the destruction of the family. Young people, I'll agree with you 1,000%, doesn't seem to see the value in a family system. But now this goes back to a lot of ways where the young male cannot get a job.
Yes.
Oh my God. He's unemployed. I see them. If you let them, anybody, stay in the streets long enough, and they all running together in groups and different things, there will be some problems. There are going to be some problems. They bumped their heads up against that brick wall for so long of being unemployed, and they came with their own culture that many people, not only white people, fear, but you got a lot of black people fear our young black kids. Let's be honest about it. We have that. That's bad. But most of them, they're harmless. They're just like any other kids. But we don't like the sagging pants. We don't like all the tattoos. We don't like the grills. We don't like a lot of things that they carry on in their generation. And now when they go to be employed, that employee who would give them a job gets turned off. And somehow, some way, we cannot make them understand that we know you're going to be discriminated against. Now, I'm not confused about that. But you don't have to make a terrible situation even worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm in total agreement with you, because that's part of what we're dealing with in the program too. Because how you present yourself really matters. But I want to talk to the fact that, first of all, when we talk about families, I actually come from generations of married people on both sides of my family. So I've been very blessed to have the baton passed on to me and help me understand. So while I did awaken into the world in 1966, I woke up at a time when black was beautiful. And so I did not know of the struggles. And this is where it breaks my heart for the younger people, because I did not know of the struggles of my past generation. Somebody had to teach that to me, and I watched it on television and documentaries. We didn't have the internet and things of that nature. So to that point, I don't feel sorry for the next generation, because you can always educate yourself.
Are you old enough to know? You should be. You're born in 66. Were you old enough to remember when Roots first came out?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's a defining moment of my life. I was about 8 years old, and I remember watching the series, and I never forgot it. Never. And so it's something, it's a staple in my family. We have a very strong African-American family on both sides of my family. And we just come from generations of my parents who were married like 30-something odd years before my mother's demise through cancer. But then my father's parents were married 47 years before my grandfather died. My grandmother never remarried, but she died recently. And then my mother's side of the family were their parents were married 60-something years before my grandmother died, and my grandfather 5 years later. And it just kind of went up the track. I can tell you great-grandparents and their names and things like that. But my point is they gave me value. But the average African-American person has not had that value, and education is key. And being equally yoked is key to having a strong family net. Now, to the fact that these African-American guys are unemployable and the women, the pants sagging, yes. That started in my generation. I'm of the Tupac generation. Tupac would not be a 21 today. He would be 45 or 44. And I can tell you that Tupac, I'm not so far removed from being hip. And quite frankly, I'm still me, and Kirk Franklin and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I am still smart enough to know the difference. If I was not one that got caught up in that world. But there are many people in my generation who did, and even some of them, even in my family, having a strong network. The network. The problem is the broader society. You don't live in a cocoon. You live in the real world, and God says you may be, you're not of the world, but you are in the world. And so we cannot take away the fact that the world exists. And so while we can look at everybody else, many people are not leaders. They are followers. Most people are followers. And so they follow the trends and the things of that nature. Right now, what's happening with African-American kids, it was a trend that led to the crack generation, quite frankly. When crack was put into our community, people wanted to try it. Some people are leaders, and they said, no, I don't want to try it. Other people say, I want to try it, and they tried, and they got hooked immediately. And so we don't understand how it even got to our community, which I can't talk about now. But every generation has a genocidal moment, and this is our genocidal moment. And we are not the people that made this a genocidal moment. The genocidal moment came from media. I am actually a television and radio journalist, so I understand the media and what their goals and objectives are and still will be. We don't own it. And so the fact is that many African-American kids, if they're latchkey kids, are watching that and they don't have any parents. So HIV and these kind of things kill off many people in our generation from drugs and the incarceration, the high incarceration rate. So the fact that the boys are wearing their pants low started in my generation. It's not theirs. It's mine. It's years going. And many of them don't even know what it meant, but then they still wear them low and they still don't care. And that speaks volumes. And so the fact is that they are not marrying one another because they never dealt with the stinking thinking. They think that white is beautiful. They think that, and I don't mean to take this to this level, but the fact is that women are valued for beauty, and women look at men for security. And so they have perverted that. And if you think that having straight hair, white skin, light eyes, and the European features are more beautiful than the features of your own, then you're not going to make her your glory. And we're the only people that do not do that. And so that's why African-American women feel devalued by black men, because she'll never be that. And we don't want to be that. We are black women. And then you have the other side of the coin.
I tell you what. Let's while we're doing this, let's take some calls because we're about to run out of this segment. All right, let's go to who's that? Mr. Grady on line 3. Let's go to line 3. Good morning. You're on KNON.
Yeah, good morning, Pastor Barnett. How you doing?
Fine. You doing all right?
I'm doing all right. I'm listening to Ms. Odom, and I beg the difference, Ms. Odom. I'm gonna take the high road and not be derogatory, but I'm gonna say this in defense. Pastor Barnett, you know, I'm up there with you. I'm a 62-year-old black man, and I think part of the problem is not only the media, but it's people like Ms. Odom who have went to college and statistically have drawn to her own conclusion and experience that this is the norm. So that is far from the truth. You know what one of our biggest problems is, Pastor Barnett?
What's that?
Is that we haven't had the dialogue amongst our own race.
Could you cut your radio down? I'm getting a lot of feedback.
I'm sorry, sir.
All right, go right ahead.
We haven't had the dialogue where we can sit down and discuss our own morals and goals and where we want to go. for example, Pastor, part of the trust, like young men and all of that, with the parents backing and all of that, if the system won't hire them, if we won't hire them, then number one, we're already defeated. We got to have a base starting somewhere. Okay, you know, if we don't talk about the word in, you know, if we let
Sir, somebody's radio is on. It's just
okay. Let me see.
Somebody's radio is just killing us. All right.
Okay.
I would definitely say that I'm definitely in agreement with this gentleman. I am not opposed to what he is saying. That's why he needs to go out to www.marriage12step.com to read about the economic base and what and why I'm in agreement with him. We have to have that communication. We have to learn how to deal with one another because we cannot infuse capital into anyone without us first taking care of this thinking. And so I'm not pointing the finger. I only have X amount of time to talk on the radio. He is in a pledge drive, and he's kind enough to let me on the air. But if you were to go out there and read about it, you will see that I am in agreement with you. As a matter of fact, that's why we're hosting the forum live, so that you can come out there to the Doc Bookshop and voice your opinion in public, and that's where we're going to be dialoguing, talking about these things, because we are taking into and consider. We have a program. It's ready. We're taking this thing off. It's gone. It's left the station.
All right.
Okay?
I'm sorry. We're up against a short break. Hey, I'm up against a short break, and we'll be back in just one moment. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum, and we're still in the midst of our spring pledge drive. We need your tax-deductible pledge. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line one and say good morning to JT. All righty? Good morning, JT. Hello? JT, I guess he waited hell too long. All right, let's go to line two and say good morning to James. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Yes, sir. I'm doing really good. And Mrs. Odom, good morning. Some good things. I want to also ask when Mr. Odom mentioned some things about her generation, but I want to move past that. I appreciate the vehicle that she has moving with this black economic empowerment, because those are issues that I really favor here around us, but the family structure. And what I want to bring out about that, a year or so ago, there was a young man named Dr. Clement Glenn that we were working with, trying to move some conferences about men and families throughout East Texas. We started out and did 3 of them, but I won't take up a lot of time telling you, but maybe, Reverend Barnett, when we visit you, we can talk about this another time. But I was glad to hear that she is involved in entertainment, sports, and Christians, because the Million Man March, we got away from that. We got away from the Reach One, Teach One program. And then the recent incident that happened with this basketball team owner is what I wanted to say, and I've been making comments in my circle. Where have these guys been when we've been called the N-word out here on the lower level, the less fortunate, when these guys up there playing, I call it big recess for a living, basketball, football, baseball, and all of that. They make all the millions, and now they get somebody call them an N-word, and we get their attention as, hey, let's talk about that. But what'll happen is we'll do a little spurt talk about this, and we'll shove it under the rug, and it'll go away. But this is institutional racism, and we need to have this as an ongoing thing instead of every time somebody hollers the N-word, we want to talk about it for a while, and we're not getting anything done. Let me say this right quick in my conversation. I appreciate Mrs. Odom's program, because if you look back, Wendy Davis has had her problems with Perry, and we know about his ignorance and stupidity, but Perry had appointed a man named William White to the Finance Commission, and this guy here is scandalous to me, because Reverend Barnett, many times on your program, people call in and mention about y'all mayor up there, Rollins, that he has something to do with that payday lending program, finance institution, and these things here. I had a family member down here in Palestine. Their daughter was ripped off by that payday loan thing up there. She made a big loan on her vehicle, and they took her vehicle from her because she didn't understand what was going on. But the program Mrs. Odom is doing, I hope that in that process they will open up some savings and loans and some finance institutions that will understand African-American plight and help us to be able to get money, to help us in the community and build ourselves up. I understand they said that Wells Fargo is a black institution, and we got that guy named Simmons up there that got his program. And one other closeout, and maybe you can come in.
James, I've got to run.
Yes, sir. Okay, but the other thing
I thank you for your.
Well, I would like to comment on James, just so James will know that, again, if he were to come out to the forum on June 21st at the Dock Bookshop, I'd like to hear from him and talk with him personally, because we do have a number of alliance relationships in different organizations we're working with. They plug into our organization using a hub-and-spoke model. We do plug into the local churches in every major city and a number of different things. So if there are existing ministries that support certain elements, we do align with those ministries. We do obviously need volunteers for our program. There's a number of different things that we can look for people to do in our program. So I really want them to come out. I want them to engage, because this, like I said, is taking place in Fort Worth locally. We are kicking off this national movement right here in Fort Worth locally. And we will have these kind of live forums in every major city across this nation. And we will do it multiple times. Because we have to educate the public. We need you to know what we're doing. This is a movement. A movement is not for one person. A movement is for the grassroots national level. We're talking about everyday people. If you have innovative ideas, if you want to marry, if you want to, you don't have to even join our program and get married right away. We even have a way by which you can start. This is the 12-step treatment program. So we have a way by which you can join the program and just stop at step 4 or something like that and not marry yet, and just continue down the economic track and receive venture and angel capital if you meet the requirements to our business accelerator. But,
okay, we're going back. Let's go back to our phone line. 972-647-1893. All right, let's say good morning to Donna. All right, good morning, Donna.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
I am a 40-year-old woman. I have a 17-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, she's going to be a senior in high school, going off to college. Does your program address young women, and how do I orient her towards, looking forward to having a family life? I don't want her. I raised her as a single mother. Her dad and I divorced when she was 3. I don't want to raise her. I don't want her to raise her kids, like that. I want her to have a family life and the value of it. I tell her that all the time. But, how do you do that? Like, how do you instill that in a young person with all the influences that exist? How do mothers instill that in their children?
Definitely. Number one, you are eligible to join Marriage 12 Step. It primarily comes through you, but it also comes through us, because she's not old enough yet to join our program. She has to be at least 18 to join our program, okay? But you can join it. And we do singles counseling for free, singles, just a number of things. You have to go out to the website. Please do that. Educate yourself. This is one thing African Americans will do. But we do, if you join the program, you can educate your children. If you want to marry or find an equally yoked spouse, we can help you do that. And we can also choose to help you just find money if you have a great idea for business. But if you wanted to find an equally yoked spouse, there is a process by which we do this in our program. We even provide marriage and family counseling for free. Your daughter can become a member of that through our marriage and family counseling process while we're finding a spouse for you. And we do provide that counseling to her so that she understands the value of an equally yoked relationship and crisis mission on her life. And abstinence and that kind of thing, why it's important to keep your body cleansed, okay?
Well, what's interesting is we live out in northeast Tarrant County. It's not a lot of diversity out here, but she is a natural-looking young lady. She wears her hair naturally. She is a tall, very, I think, good-looking girl. The guys that she attracts, none of them are African-American. They don't give her any attention, but Hispanic, Caucasian, love her. I don't discourage it, why should I? But it's just an interesting observation on my part.
It's the reality right now. Again, at their generation, this is the part of the problem. It's the reality. The Caucasians and the Hispanics are attracted to the black people, but you have to ask even the motive behind that. It's based off of low self-esteem and oppression that black people are having a gender war at this age, and they're speaking negatively. Black men won't even go out with a black girl. Black girls will not go out with black guys, and those that want to are lost in the crowd. So what we're doing is we're reintroducing culturally them. We're attacking this problem in the program. And so those that want to find an African-American partner, this is a great program for that. But at the same time, we're re-educating, we're taking away that mentality, that spirit. It's quite frankly a spirit. It's the demonic spirit that comes against our community, and we're helping them understand this. So that's the purpose of, if you go out to our site, you'll learn more about these things, because we have to do all of this in the program just to be able to even infuse the capital. And so it's not an issue of, can I get money? Yes and no. There isn't money out there. If you were to go and try to launch a large-scale company, a global company, who's going to give the money to Pookie with his pants hanging down? Pookie's going to have to change his mentality and start caring about Pookie. And God says a man that doesn't care about his own home is less than an infidel. Okay? So if your own woman is in your glory, okay, there's a problem with that. And if your own women cannot reference her man, there's a problem with that. If she's looking for external, value from other cultures, there's a problem with that. This program has to be dealt with. We have to deal with our mentality. And so that's what Marriage 12-Step is about first. And so, as I said, when the program opened, it is a marriage matchmaking program. It's also a cultural self-help program, and it's also a business accelerator. So those that go through the certification and cleansing and all, these are, when I say cleansing, it means free counseling. I don't teach the counseling. We have real ministers and Bible study classes, and we have psychologists, real psychologists, and free counseling. We have free African-American classes, Black history classes, and biblical Black history that they go through. These are volunteers that's giving this away service free. And we then have MBAs and people that are that own businesses, successful businesses, that are teaching you from an accelerated perspective, and you get certification in these lanes as you are learning who you are. And then you are ready to receive venture and angel capital. But as an accelerator, we act as a clearinghouse. So the way venture capital is run today in other cultures is that, and this is just standard, they don't open the door for you to just walk up there and say, hey, here's a business proposal. No, they go through accelerators. The accelerator's job is to get them ready. And the venture capitalists do not make themselves known oftentimes. They just come through the accelerator. And we have to cleanse the individual people, when I say getting cleansed, that means making you ready so that you will learn how to pitch, how to communicate, how to create business plans and that kind of thing, and to get in front of the venture capitalists.
All righty. Now, when did you say your program will be in Fort Worth? What day?
It's June 21st at the Dock Bookshop in Fort Worth.
Yes, I heard that.
Do you have an address on that Dock Bookshop?
I've been there. Oh,
you've been there? Yeah, but there are others that are returning.
Let me take a look and see if I have that with me right now. I do. The address is 6637 Meadowbrook Drive in Fort Worth. The zip code is 76112, and the phone number there is 817-457-5700. And again, that's 6637 Meadowbrook Drive in Fort Worth. There is a donation. We
Okay.
We'll
have to leave the donation part.
Okay.
All
right. But if you go to marriage12step.com and read more about on the fact in the About Us section, there will be links to our event, and you can always come there and ask questions. We will have a forum very similar to this, and I would love to have you, Reverend, come out and participate at that event much as possible. I would love for someone from KNON or from your show to be there, because it's a very important event, and it is impacting African Americans locally in every market. And we will be doing the same thing in Dallas.
All right. Thank you. We'd like to thank you, Mr. Oden. Thank all of you for calling and listening to Ms. Oden. And she got that information down, and we'll be passing it on to you up until the time of the event. Thank you, ma'am. All righty. We got to do some fundraising. Thank you, Dr. Travis Edwards. He zoomed by the studio and gave us a big, nice pledge. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But we got so many things here we got to give away. We have the KNON pint glass, the KNON backpack, the KNON lunch koozie 6-pack cooler. All right. The KNON ball cap, and we have the KNON poncho. All right. And it's black and waterproof, hooded. And KNON Ray-Ban style glasses, KNON aluminum sports bottle. We got just a lot of perks, but we'd like for you to pledge to our show, because we will bring you the best we possibly can in order to inform you and keep you inspired and informed about what's going on in our community, in our nation, around this world. KNON. Now, I promise you all that we would talk about Mr. Sterling, Donald Sterling. I know he's been hot in the community. He's been hot around everywhere behind his racist remark, but this is not new. This man been making these remarks since 1983 that we know of. We got on the lines people that have spoke up and talked about it, and it's nothing new. So we if you have something to say, remarks about this, yes, I believe they're going to put him out of the NBA, but he's going to make a ton of money before he leaves. Oh my God, he's going to sell the team. He only paid $12 billion for the team. Probably will sell it for about $700 million. He'll make a ton of money, but it's so prevalent now with the election of Barack Obama. What was once sort of kept under the cover, people are exposing their true feelings about the situation. They never dreamed they would ever see an African American in the presidency. And you got people in Congress, Republicans, basically, trying to make sure you never ever see another one. So this is what's happening. This is what's happening in our government. This is what's happening all over this nation. And people are upset about this man being president. And people are showing their bigotry, their hatred for this man. And it's not just hating him. Hates you. Hate you. This really, you're the problem. You're the problem. Not just Barack Obama. He's just symbolic of you. And you need to wake up. Some of us need to wake up. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We're up against a short break, but we need your tax-deductible pledges coming in. We need those pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. Send us those pledges. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We're going to take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. All righty, we're pushing the pledge drive, and we're having an open line. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Open line. Talk about a lot of things going on. A lot of you this past week, I don't know why, maybe this caller must have got to you all or something, I don't know. That called and pretended to be a person that was coming to my church, and she asked a lot of questions, gave a description. We know who that was. We know it was a person that's supporting the home rule. And some of the things, misinformation got out there. Oh, you're so small. No, I'm not. But I am not a mega church. And I always felt that anything under 500 people is a small church. And some of you came correct me. No, it's not that. It's not that. So let me apologize for saying that. But no, I'm not as tiny as she tried to make it be. And sorry, I just let that pass by because it really didn't faze me at the time that she was saying that. We know who it was, and we know that these people try to play dirty tricks and do different things on that. But we can't worry about that. We got to go on because you have to love black folks more than they hate themselves. And I often say that, and I know that, and I have to believe that. We got a lot of things here. We got a lot of perks and everything. We need to raise some money, and we need to hear from you. I know, excuse me, that they've worn this thing out with this guy, Donald Sterling, but we have a 10-day memory. We do. Dr. King said that. We have a 10-day memory. It'll all be forgotten about it and over with. I'm sure the league is going to move and remove him. Do you think Oprah Winfrey would be a good owner? Do you think Magic Johnson would be a good owner? What's the boxer's name? Yeah, Mayweather? Yeah. Maybe all three of them come together. Whoever. Other black people may sell it to a black entity. Yes, I really think Oprah has been awfully good at everything else she touched, so why not a NBA team? Why not? We have African Americans now. It's true. We have a lot of wealthy African Americans now, a whole lot of them. They're coming together and putting their monies together to build something to develop our community. No, not as much as they should. Magic Johnson have done a lot of great things in the African-American community across the nation. He's invested in our community, and he has made a lot of money investing in our community. And I think he deserves a shot at it. He's an NBA superstar, mega star himself. He's well loved throughout the league. He is probably the most well loved of all the NBA players. I don't know, between Bill Russell is a beloved player. A lot of people like Magic Johnson. I don't think he's as popular as these others because he's sort of held back. I don't know. He never would make any statements about anything, and even the Democratic governor of North Carolina asked him to endorse him. He told him no, he can't endorse him because he's a Democrat, and he said Republicans vote too, and things like that. But Magic Johnson is a very beloved person, someone that people like and trust, and he's proven he's a businessman par excellence. So we need that. We need all the power. But we also need people in our community to quit betraying us. We've got too many people, preachers, other professionals, that's going along with this homeroom school. We got too many people that's betraying our community. I'll start calling you out by names as you start doing what you're doing until you stop. I am sick of it. For a few pennies, some of y'all will endorse the devil. You will. It's sad in our community that we have so many people that will sell out for a little or nothing. Even if they gave you big money, why would you sell your soul to something you know that's not right? 972-647-1893. Let's go to Sylvia on line 3. All righty? Good morning, Sylvia.
Good morning, Pastor Barnett.
Fine. How are you?
Oh, just fantastic. What about yourself?
Great. Just great.
I have a question. Last week, I went down to the Dallas City Hall for about 10 for the rally.
You sure your name, Sylvia?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I just wondered, maybe I was in the wrong place, I've got no...
You're not, Sylvia. Come on, get off our lines. I know who you are. You cannot disguise your voice. You don't disguise your voice well. Thank you, Sylvia. All righty. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Mookie. All righty. Good morning, Mookie.
Yes, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Fine. Please cut the radio down, please.
Well, those are people in the background. I have a earbud, and I just took it out. But I'll turn it off and see if that makes... No, that's people talking in the background.
Okay, all right. Go right ahead.
Yeah, It's all good. I was listening to your comments about... I guess you were speaking about this man that got all the fines and the Clippers, because I came in on the tail end of the conversation. And what I want to say is there's a lot of women that are doing the same thing that his little hoochie mama was doing, except she was doing it on a bigger scale. Women want to talk about her. That girl she's drawn in 4 cars that are worth, who knows how, $1 million. She lives in a $1.4 million crib. And there are women that are, even church women, that are living nasty, like that. But they're going to church, but they're doing it on a smaller scale, and they're doing it in secret. And this thing you're talking about that goes on in the city, people selling out like that, yeah, they are. And it's really pathetic, because this city has so much in it and so much to offer that if we would pull together, we could do some things here.
That's right.
People don't want to do that here because they're trying to get nickels and dimes,
Well, you're so right. We sell out for nothing, and just to sell out, I don't care for how much it is. To be a sellout is just deplorable. It's horrible. It's ungodly, and it's sad that people will do what they do.
Listen, I want to bring attention to something, if I may, because of the fact that people are selling out in this city. You have women, some of them are black, some of them are other races, that are being thrown out of these shelters, and they're currently living in the streets. And they're trying to remain anonymous, which that's not easy to do for a person that's out there like that. I'm worried about these women because of the amount of predators that are in this city, And when they see those types of women that are alone and they're vulnerable like that, those women are in trouble. And I have been talking to various people that they say they're going to look into it, but I doubt it real serious. So I'm putting the word out in the airwaves or wherever I can, because if you take a real close look in the downtown area, you will see these women because they're usually there on a regular basis. And sometimes, even though they have the bridge, for homeless people, sometimes those guys that are the security guys over there, I don't know if they get them out of the shelter. I don't know where those guys come from, but sometimes they like to see these women in vulnerable positions like that, and I don't know if it's because it's beneficial to them or what's going on. But somebody really needs to take a close look at this. So I'm going to get off the line now and let you go ahead on with
are there groups? Are they
No,
don't they have homes for?
They're usually. That's why, because I've been seeing the same one all the time in such vulnerable situations. This city has too much money in it in pocket for those types of situations. They got the money. There's money for that. Okay. So there shouldn't be anybody that women, especially, and I'm going to tell you now, because there's one lady, she's a white woman. She's 70 years old. She lives at the Salvation Army. I don't know why they haven't gotten this woman an apartment or some type of a room or something, because if you ever go stand over there in front of the Salvation Army on Harry Hines, and you see the guys that just hang around there, because they live there at night. And I'm going to tell you something. A 70-plus-year-old woman that's on a walker shouldn't be living at the Salvation Army. Not in this city. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with the monies that are being you may know more about that since you're so city involved, you know. But there's some real wrong things here. And then people come here to see the Stars and the Mavericks and the Dallas Cowboys and the museum. That museum downtown, I think they have like 4,000 or 5,000 visitors a day, where Kennedy was shot and killed in front of, you know, I'm talking about down there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So these people, they don't really know about the internal mess that goes on here. And
we're going to look into that. We'll look into it and find out really what's going on. If there are foundations of different things. Because you bring light to a lot of things, and I want to encourage you, because I know that it's not easy for people that are going against the grain. But you know, when God is with you, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I call it David and Goliath situation. All righty, we thank you for your call.
Speaking of David and Goliath,
I've got to run. I'm running out of time. Thank you, man.
Willie Geary, attorney at law.
I know, out of Florida. I know in person. Thank you. All right, 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Joe. All righty? Good morning, Joe. Huh? Did we lose Joe? Okay. All right. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We got these pledges. We need to get these pledges in. Oh, let me get to this. Let me get the pledges. Pledges. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. All righty. We need some tax-deductible pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. We've done pretty good this morning. We've done fair. But we need to get at least about 3 times as much money as we got now. At least that much, if not more. 972-647-1893. Come on. We got all kind of perks that you can think of. And you give us a nice pledge. 972-647-1893. We need the pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We need those tax-deductible pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. We need them coming in. 972-647-1893. We got all kinds of things. We got all kinds of perks. We got ball caps. We got the aprons. We got logos, different things, different colors. All righty. We got the Knon ballpoint pens. We got, you name it. It's everything you can almost imagine we have for perks. But we want you to call in because you like the show. 972-647-1893. We're still going to talk, no matter what, about these sellouts in our community that really are awfully quiet, why they're so quiet about this home rule. I'm not talking about the political prostitutes out there and all of these that will sell their souls, but I'm talking about people that are intricate part of the community that really should be standing up. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We need your pledges now. We need your pledges. 972-647-1893. I'd like to thank Mr. Gooch. M.M. Gooch. Wow. Phenomenal pledge there. Oscar McCraney, H.L. Dewberry, Mr. and Miss Dewberry. Thank to Dr. Drelvis Edwards, James Smith, Our pledges have been really wonderful this morning, but we need some more. We need some more. They putting a lot of, they're making it real high. They're making it real high. So we got to really raise the pledge. They look at those poll numbers. They look at everything that's going on. They're looking at it. And they say, hey, you got this many listeners listening to you. Arbitron say you got this. You ought to be able to raise that amount. If you got this many listeners listening to you and they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about, and we got to raise a certain amount of money. 972-647-1893 is that number to call. We need that tax-deductible pledge coming in. 972-647-1893. I can get back to talking to you about issues, vital issues. All righty. Thank you. All righty. Thank you, Mr. Freddie, Miss Freddie Henderson. Boy, that's a unique way she spelled her name. That's beautiful. All right. Thank you, Miss Ward. Thank you, Miss Ward. All righty. Thank you, Mr. Ike Steen. Thank you. Oh, boy, he's always on it. Thank you, Dr. Travis Edwards. Thank you, Mr. James Smith. Thank you. This pledge drive will go on until we raise a certain amount of money. I realize I have the best audience in radio. I listen to the local shows, national shows, and all of this. I have a very, 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 very intelligent audience. You're very thought-provoking, very intelligent. Is that him with the job line? All right, okay. All right, at 972-647. I'm out of time, really. I didn't realize we got people on the line, but I've got to raise some money. Y'all can still continue to call. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. All right. Somebody, all righty. Thank you. All righty. 972-647-1893. Well, I'm out of time. Okay. Thank you. Thank all of you for calling. Thank all of you for listening. I'm Senior Pastor Heavenly Joy Church. We're located at Brewton and Masters here in the city of Dallas. Service again at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning at Sunday School, 9:30. Everybody is welcome to come and be with it and see for yourself. All righty. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Coming next. All right. It's the Union Show. They coming up and they got a lot of good information for you. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.